This weekend, we are in the Tonto Basin. We are going to go backpacking. We are going on the Coon Spring Trail. So the trailhead starts here at the Oak Creek cabin site. There are two cabins here. This cabin here, which is of older vintage, and then there is a newer construction right up here. This one is actually pretty well established. Let me give you a little tour. Whoa, look at that. We got a little fireplace. And then what do you got over here? Wow.
And there's a fireplace there.
Wow, you got a sink.
I think there's more.
What? Oh, and then there's a big outdoor fire pit. This is way cool. So girls, what do you think of this cabin? So to get to Coon Springs, we're gonna head up over this saddle. They call it a saddle because it looks like a saddle. We're gonna go over the top and then head down into a ravine till we get to Coon Springs. In total, it'll be about 2 miles to get to Coon Springs. Before we get started with the hike, I thought I would just tell you a little bit about the road getting here. It is kind of sketchy. You're definitely gonna want a vehicle with higher clearance. 4-wheel drive is definitely recommended with this one. So how do we avoid getting lost?
Stay in groups.
So everyone, stay with the group. Stay with the group. What do you do if you don't see anybody around you? What do you do? Do you go up the hill trying to find everybody?
Yes.
No. You stop where you are, and if you have a whistle, blow your whistle. Daddy, yeah, there you go. Okay, we had a fun time exploring these cabins. We ate lunch. We had our safety meeting. We are all strapped up with our backpacks ready to go. We're gonna start this hike. Maddie, I really like your socks. Tell me how you did your setup there.
I just had my hat and I just
Pull your socks up? Why do you do that?
so I won't get mosquito bites.
I have Band-Aids.
I think we go up this way. Whew. So we made it to the top of the saddle here, and we are going to take a well-earned break with these kids. Hey Letty, how's the hike going? You having a good time?
We're just going to take a little break.
Let me guys teach you a little bit something here. So you look over there, you see how there's a bunch of rocks stand on top of each other? That's kind of an international sign of this is where the trail is. It's called a cairn.
A parent?
Uh-huh, yeah.
A parent?
Right over there, so all those rocks right there, they're saying you may not see the trail, but that's where it is. Our second break. How's it going, Letty?
Good.
You want to sit on the backpack? Why don't we sit on these fun little logs? That's right, you can sit on my backpack too. If you like sitting on my sweaty back sweat. Tell me what I'm doing wrong, okay? What did I do wrong?
You
litter all down the ground.
That's not where it belongs, huh? Where should I put it?
in your backpack.
In my pocket. How's it going, Kate?
It's been really good
Why aren't you taking off your backpack?
because then I'll have to put it back on again and I have to readjust it.
You having a good time?
Yeah.
Oh no, little Liza Pop.
I'm getting kind of bored. Ow, ow, ow.
Let's tell. We're taking the here. Got one in my thumb. Ooh, it's a better one. You okay, Miss Liza Pop? I think we got him. I think we got him. You're a brave little girl, Liza Pop. Come here. Can I carry your backpack for you? Will that help? Okay. Let me carry your backpack. Okay, be very careful. You're doing a good job. What do you think of this? Is it pretty? Huh? Okay, we made it here to Coon Springs. It is absolutely gorgeous here. Coming in, it was a pretty rocky trip, but here it is nice and lush and green. There are tall trees surrounding this camping area, so it is nice and shaded. It is just a beautiful place to go camping. And best of all, there is a fresh water source, the Coon Spring. Let me show you the Coon Spring. So here we are at the Coon Spring. Candidly, it is hardly a trickle, but a trickle is all you need. You just need a water source when you're backpacking. So we are grateful to have a water source. It's definitely a lot more fun than lugging in all the water that you need. Arizona is in a very extreme drought right now, so it definitely could be a bigger spring at different times of the year, but it is a perennial spring, so we are just happy to have water. One thing you should know is when you first come in, it almost looks like a little swamp. I mean, it's really not possible to filter the water where you first see the spring, so you need to walk up a little bit. Let me show you. So if you just walk up a little bit, there is a little cistern up here that collects the water, and it makes it really easy to filter your water out. Right, Sam?
It works.
Gets the job done.
It's wet.
Did you expect a little bit more from this spring?
I was expecting to have a little bit more of a stream, but you know, if this wasn't here, we'd be heading back home.
We are definitely grateful to have it. This is Miss Claire. This was her first backpacking trip. Did you like it?
Yep.
Did you have a good time?
Yep, buddy.
So a couple tips for this backpacking trip. The first tip is to wear pants. When you are doing this hike, there are a lot of shrubs that you're walking through, and there is a lot of cactus, and having pants will save your legs. Our poor little Liza Pop got tangled up with a cactus. We got all the needles pulled out of Liza's leg, and she is happy as can be here at this campsite. Another thing about this trail that you should know is that there are portions of the trail with loose rock. There are also portions with a pretty steep ravine and a narrow path, like right here behind me. It might be a good idea to bring a walking stick just to help you keep sure-footed on the trail.
Letty was crying because she does what she wanted to be called relaxed.
So Letty was sad because she wanted to be relaxed?
Yeah,
And why couldn't she be relaxed?
because everybody was taking their bags from her back.
So we took the sleeping bag and the sleeping pad out of Letty's backpack, and now she cannot be relaxed. So we are gonna go get our tent set up so she can get relaxed in the tent. Hey Letty, are you able to get relaxed? Huh? Yeah? Okay. We're gonna get your tent set up. Okay, we got camp all set up, and now we are eating dinner tonight. What are we having, Kate?
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs, courtesy of Uncle Sam and Uncle Casey. Eliza, how does your hot dog taste? So this is Uncle Sam's trick. You just get the hot dog and you put it in a tortilla. It still tastes delicious, and it saves you a ton of space in your bag. So everyone, what do we say to Uncle Casey for lugging in s'mores for all of us?
Okay, pull back.
Thank you.
Wow, Anna.
It's so gooey.
So gooey.
How's it taste? Okay, we're just having fun around the campfire. I'm gonna have my brother tell us the story of the Tewksburys and the Grahams.
So up in those cliffs, there's a spring called the Tewksbury Spring. It's named after the Tewksbury family. And there was a war here in this area. They call it the Pleasant Valley War. And it was between a family called the Graham family and the Tewksbury family. The Graham family and Tewksburys were once really good friends, but then they decided to fight over little things. And each time they got into a little fight, they started fighting over bigger things. And eventually they started fighting, and some people got killed. And in the end, 50 people got killed And the whole Tewksbury family that was fighting and the whole Graham family that was fighting, they all got killed in it.
Arizona became a state in 1912. What's the story, Sam?
So because of this Pleasant Valley War, all the news got sent out all over the United States, and they realized that maybe the people in Arizona or in the Arizona territory were a little bit too rambunctious and rowdy and not civilized enough to become a state. So it took 30 years after this war ended for the stigma to calm down for us to actually become a state here.
What?
Yeah. So everyone, we learned something new while hiking today.
We learned about cairns.
We learned about cairns. Not Karen, but cairns. What do cairns do for us?
They tell us where the path is.
They show us where the path is, okay? So who puts the cairns up?
People who are here.
People who have been there before us. Is it easier to hike if you don't follow the cairns, or is it easier to hike if you do follow the cairns?
Follow the cairns.
So here's a question for you. Who are some people in your lives that act like cairns? They show you the path because they've been there before.
Parents.
Parents.
Kind of friends.
Our parents are really like cairns. Can you think of some other people?
Grandparents.
Who?
Prophets.
The prophets.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Jesus. Yeah. What are some things that aren't people that are kind of like the cairns that can show us the way? Prayers, scriptures. So every time we see a cairn, think of somebody's been here before and they know the better way. And sometimes we decide not to follow the cairns and it's harder. And sometimes we get lost if we don't follow the cairns.
And sometimes we don't
So,
know.
yeah.
And sometimes we don't know what to do.
Yeah. So when you don't know what to do, look for the cairns. They can help to show you the right direction to go.
Well, we could not have had more fun backpacking together as a family on this Coon Spring backpacking trip. Thanks so much for watching our video. Bye!
There's a log at the bottom of the lake. There's a log at the bottom of the lake. There's a log, there's a log, there's a log, there's a log, there's a log at the bottom of the lake. There's a hole in the log at the bottom of the lake.